Hey y'all, this is David with Ham Radio Today, and today what I want to do is get out the sBitxV3 and do a Parks on the Air activation and show you how to use FT8 to do that. Let's get this thing hooked up and going. I have three reasons for doing the FT8 today at this activation site. Number one is I'm on the side of the road. Let me just show you. Literally, the shoulder of the road. I am as close to the road as you can possibly get. Number two is that I can sit in the truck with the air conditioner on and I don't have to hear the radio to be able to operate. And number three, propagation's been kind of spotty here lately, and FT8 is a very good weak signal mode. So I have the greatest chances of completing the activation with FT8. So with those three combinations, let's get the radio put together and let's get on the air. Bring the coax inside the truck. Okay, I set up the radio in the passenger seat of the truck, and I have found a system that works pretty good to get this to fit. Is I use the radio's case as a sort of table to hold up the radio. So what I'll do is I'll turn the case sideways, do a little bit of a gap there, and the radio will sit neatly right in front of the workstation perfectly. I have power routed into the truck. I always check my antenna because I have found some interesting things over the years with some things such as SWR and such. So we'll just do this right quick. Yeah, it's actually quite good today. Wow. Yep, perfectly acceptable. As you can see, well, maybe not with that coax in the way. I have the SWR is about 1.2 to 1 at the FT8 area. Going up into the sideband area, it gets up to about 1.8 to 1, which is completely usable across the entire ham band. All right, this is going to be a pseudo tutorial type video. Since my SWR is so good, I'm not going to worry about combo mode current. I'm just going to hook the antenna straight to the radio, and we're just going to roll with it. The power button is on this side. That's what this big switch is. So we're going to power the radio on. Now, the mic plugs in to the mic jack over here, and we go ahead and just do that and get it out of the way. And now that's a done deal. Okay. It being a Raspberry Pi 4 in my case, it's a computer, so I get to use a mouse with it. So I'm going to go ahead and power my mouse on. Now I do backup redundant paper log my contacts, so I'll be running this paper logbook behind the camera while I work the contacts on camera. The park I'm at is US-0716 Chickamauga Battlefield. Today is Friday, October 16th. 16 August, not October, 2024. My bad. You always give it a few minutes because this is a computer, so you let it fully boot up. Now I could launch this little apps thing and it does some stuff too, but since I'm running the mouse, I don't need to. I'm just going to launch the sBitxV3 app. It'll come on, and I think I was on 80 or 40 meters FT8 last night. Yeah, 40 meters. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to 20. You click on you have your bands across the top here. So I'm going to click on 20 meters. And now you can see we're on 20 meters FT8. Here's the waterfall as it shows currently. This is the V3 version 3.027. Now it's called the JJ version. It's right here. It shows up on the screen. And that's because a coder by the name of JJ wrote this 64-bit version and got it working. And you can see it's populating with information already. So what I'm going to do is find an open spot down at the bottom of the screen here. Let me just see. How does this work? Let me try the recording and see what... Oh, it's a WAV file. Never mind. That didn't do it what I wanted at all. Alright. But I'll try to get a static image of this display so that I can insert what I'm talking about as I click on things and kind of point it out to you so you can understand it. But there's information across the bottom and the top. Let me just give you the rundown. The bottom has the memories that you want to use, like to call CQ, to call somebody by their call, to reply to a call, to send 73, all that sort of stuff. Then you got the number of times it repeats. Like if you send CQ, you can tell it to repeat 10 times, and it'll send 10 CQs in a row if nobody answers you. And then it'll stop. Transmit first is on and or off, and that's talking about the even and odd cycles. So if you have it off, it'll transmit on the odd cycles, and if you have it on, it transmits on the even cycles. Auto on, I'm pretty sure it's auto answer. You don't have to click the call sign to answer. That's a little iffy. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Transmit pitch is where you are in the spectrum when you transmit. So, you know, if you look on the waterfall and you can't see it, but you'll be able to see it with the static I'm going to take, there's a little red line. The green line has to do with CW pitch. The red line is your transmit pitch number, and you just move it back and forth by selecting that. You touch it and that selects it, and then you can turn this multifunction knob and dial it, or you can even drive it with the mouse wheel. It'll do it too. It just depends on what you're wanting to do. Yeah, right now we're on the odds, and there's a big dead spot there. So I've got that to where if I hit CQ, it's waiting on the odds to come back around, and then it's going to transmit in this big skip in the waterfall right here. Well, it's right there. You can't see it. Side tone has to do with CW. And then the keyboard is, there's an on-screen keyboard you can type with. Now we're sending with about 17 watts because the voltage of the batteries in the truck are a little down because they're old. If I crank the truck, that'll bump to over 20 watts because then I'm running at 13.89 volts, maybe even 14 volts with the alternator. Up here at the top, I'm just going to go ahead and talk about this stuff. You have your audio level, which is your output, your audio frequency or your volume. IF is your RF gain. It's how sensitive the radio is to the incoming signals. Drive is your transmit power. Bandwidth is the width of your filter. AGC, it's on fast. It should be off. Let me turn that off. There we go. The sBitxV3, well, the sBitxV3 is a touchscreen radio, by the way. This whole thing is a touchscreen. Okay, span is the width of the waterfall that you're seeing. So yeah, I'm viewing 6K or 6,000 hertz of bandwidth. So I can adjust this up to 25 kilohertz and down to, I think it's 1500 or something. There's 2500. That's what it is. VFO, A and B. You know, you got two VFOs. The steps has to do with your tuning steps. I haven't got an answer yet. And then RIT, of course, and split is obvious. Over here, you got your bands, your mode. You pick your. I'm running FT8. This block of data below it has to do with the this half of it over here has to do with the logbook. It'll auto log your stuff, and that's what this line of information is about. QRZ means, oh, I got a bite. November 9, Mike Uniform Foxtrot answered me. Now, it's going to log the contact prematurely because the code's a little wrong. As soon as he answers me with a signal report, it probably will log it, even though we haven't finished all the exchanges. This is why I manually paper log them. It's a bug. They're working on solving it. Yep, it just gave it to me. It pushed it off screen because there's so many contacts. But if I open the log up and show you, it will actually show that November 9 Mike Uniform Foxtrot is already in the log, even though we're still finishing the exchange. And that's coming in an update. HF Signals has an engineer named Farhan that is working on the code for this. I'm pretty sure he's the owner and the coder. So there we go. I got my 73. Now that we're finished with our QSO, I need to click CQ again and start another sequence of 10 calls. But yeah, then you've got your recording on and off. It'll record an audio file of the contacts. So if you like to record your CW contacts, you can. Web, this has two different viewable skins, as they say. This is called the GTK. If you go to web, it opens the radio up in a web browser, and it has a different look. It's the same exact radio, but it's operating in a web browser. And he does that so that you can actually log into the radio. Like, if it's on the web browser, you can actually log into it from another computer and just run it through the browser. It's kind of a neat trick that he's done. I don't use that because this seems to use less resources, and it's just as easy to use. It's a little cruder layout. The other one's a little more decorative, but it works fine. I don't remember what set is. Oh yeah, I do remember what set is. It has to set your call sign and your grid, and maybe that's all. It sets 2 or 3 things like that. And that's everything. It's not complicated. You got your VFO readout, so you know what frequency you're on. And it's just working. Right now, it's listening, and that's everything it's hearing. I can click on any one of these call signs. All I gotta do is touch the screen, and it'll answer them. I'm calling CQ currently. I don't open the log while I'm transmitting because it seems to have another bug in the code to where if you open the log during transmit, it crashes. So I make sure I don't do that. There's one I want to call. What I done was I touched the screen, then I rolled the touchpad up till it hit the call sign. Oh crap, I want him. Okay, you have 2 seconds after the thing switches over to pick a call. This guy's calling me. I was calling Victor Alpha 3 Romeo Juliet Sierra because he was calling CQ POTA. But then when it switched over, I had been called by Kilo Alpha 5 Hotel Echo Tango. So I went ahead and chose him to finish that QSO since he's actively trying to reach me. And he called me again, so I'm answering him again. All right, mate, let's see what happens this time. He can't hear me. He keeps calling me. There's where he's called me, and I'm answering him, but he can't hear me for some reason. Probably because I don't have enough transmit power to get through the sea of call signs coming through. No, I got him. See the white one here? That white one is, what that means is that it logged. It actually says logged as well, but yeah, the orange is him calling me. I don't know if you can see it. And then the gray is that I replied to him. And then the white shows it's logged. And green is just stuff coming through on the waterfall. I think you can actually go into the settings and change those colors. Now we got that far. Now we're stuck on sending the RRR back and forth. And I have coffee. See, a little red-haired girl. And this is why I don't hurry and put them in the logbook. Because if we don't complete this part of the exchange, then this never actually finished. Open the log up. I've got N9 MUF, okay. So you can open and close the log as long as you're not transmitting. He's still sending the R-11 signal report, and I'm sending the Roger, Roger, Roger back. Eventually he'll hear me. This radio is a very simple kind of RF design. So the power is optimized for 80 meters, and it goes from 80, 40, 30, 20, 10. Okay, now what's happened here is it's auto logged a second time for the same call. Which is kind of ironic that it can't seem to land that signal report. There is possibly a station somewhere else. He finally gave up, so I'm gonna escape. So what I'm gonna do is go to the log, and I'm gonna delete both of these because we never did complete the contact. I have N9 MUF. I'm gonna go ahead and put that one down. And then I have him at -3, -11 at 1411 hours UTC. Okay, now I'm gonna close this. I can use the mouse on the computer here to do that. All right, what we'll do is we'll do some hunting and pecking. Let's see. I'm gonna watch the waterfall and see if somebody is, yep, somebody with a very strong signal is transmitting right on top of me. How ironic. I'm gonna move just off of him into the blue clear beside him, and we'll try, I don't know, try this guy. Whoever 8 Hotel 79I is. Let's see if he can hear me. It was just the first one I picked. Yeah, you simply take the mouse. Let me just get some shade on this. You simply take the mouse and pick the one you want. It'll do it, and it'll auto-complete the transaction. And it'll over-auto-complete, as you saw. Man, he's not hearing me. I'm going to get this N9 IBM just as soon as it finishes. What I'm doing that for is I'm going to let it finish that cycle, and then on the next one, immediately it's going to call him. Look, the band's fading a little bit. Yeah, N9 IBM is still calling CQ, and he's got a strong signal. Maybe he can hear me. He probably can. Shows I'm transmitting with 19 watts. That's a little out of calibration because when I changed the transistors and done the upgrade, I didn't re-zero it. It's within a couple watts. It might be 20. No, he didn't hear me. He's still calling CQ. Alright, let's check and see what's happening. How about we just switch to the other side and move up into this big empty spot right here. Oh, wait a minute. That ain't the big empty spot. Get down here. Yeah, I made it to 20. But yeah, the higher you go in frequency with this radio, the less power output. And it kind of floors out around 15 meters at about 15 watts, something like that. 12, 15 on the upper bands. It's enough. I've made several contacts with it. You can see I've changed my transmit pitch and how it's actually outputting a different tone. I moved down to 580 hertz. Let's get KR0P here and see if he can hear me. I bet he can. I've worked Kilo Romeo Zero Papa a couple times in the past. Starting to heat up in here from the radio's transmitter having a 20 watt output. 20 watts is a lot more output heat than you realize. It's got a giant heat sink on the back of the radio to dissipate it. Yep, got him. Now let's just see if we can finish the exchange. I bet we do. Like I said, I've worked him several times. Yep, got him. 73. KR0P. That's 2. I'm gonna let it cycle through and then I'll get the data from the call. I called WA2 WAP, but he's finishing a QSO right there. So I'm gonna see if he can hear me. I'm gonna let that one go through. Now I'm gonna jump over here and get the numbers. -10, -2 at 1421. Okay, now we close this. As long as you do the actions. I don't know what the deal is with the log, but it's weird. And it didn't update my display for some reason. Maybe because I clicked on the log. I don't know. That's unusual. I'm not sure what happened there. I'm gonna get this VE2 LEZ next. Now we'll get him started. Yeah, he's still calling CQ, and I just answered him. So let's see what happens this time. Got him. Now, let's see if we can finish it. Yep. But this is how simple it is to use FT8 with the sBitxV3. I'm gonna grab somebody calling CQ and see if I can get an answer. I was a little late on the trigger there. I might not get an answer on that one. He's transmitting with a crap ton of energy. He's +4. I'm always minus something. He's still calling CQ, so maybe I'll get him this time. Got him. K5VYT. +4 -3. We're still working on closing the exchange because he just sent -3 again, so I'm sending +4 again. Got him. Roger, 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 and I'm sending him 73. And this is what it's like to use FT8 in a POTA park capacity. You just sit here, like I said, I'm about to crank the truck and run the air conditioner, which is a really nice feature to be able to use, because I can turn the audio all the way down and it doesn't matter. You don't have to be able to hear it. You just have to be able to see it. Yep, we're done. Okay, let's try WA2HIP. I'm just going to call him. He's -12, but we'll see what happens. But I'm going to stop the video. I'm at 24 minutes at this point, and y'all have been paying attention to this. So thank you for watching, and I'm going to close here in just a minute. And that's what it looks like to do a POTA activation with the sBitxV3 doing FT8. You know, you just kind of watch the screen and respond to it as things happen on it. But it's a very simple mode to operate on the sBitxV3. It doesn't take a lot of like user know-how, no complicated programs to set up and get going. You literally you go into the set button, enter your call sign and your grid, and you're off to the races, essentially. It's all integrated. Now, like I said, the code ain't perfect, but it's close enough that you can have a good time with it. It like I said, it does have a few little quirks. Like occasionally it just won't respond to answers. Like you'll call CQ and it'll just ignore some people that are answering you back for some reason. Sometimes it answers every one of them. And I don't know what the discriminatory code is doing to do that, but it just happens. That's why you got to pay attention. You know, you can run WSJTX and JS8 call and all that on these computers. You need the Pis with more memory work better. The 2 GB ones that comes from the factory struggle to drive that because you have to run an external monitor, and there's a lot happening there, I guess. But with the onboard program built into the radio software, it works fine. I got 13 contacts today, and a few of them were Canadian, so I got some DX out of the deal. I consider Canada DX. Some people might not, but I do. And so I had a good time. I even got maybe Belgium. That's a HI8 call. Wherever that's at, it's Europe, I'm pretty sure. But I had a good time, you know, and I'm not going to show you breaking down the radio. You saw me putting the radio up. There's not much more to see there. You know? But yeah, that's all there was to it. And if you haven't done it yet, like and subscribe and all of that. And until next time, we'll hope to see you on the air. This is WK4DS, and I'm signing off.